here on Let It Rip. Today I'm gonna be sharing my thoughts, and also later we're gonna be bringing Junk and Harsha to get their perspective as well. It's definitely been, a weird week, highs and lows, but the regular season is over for us now. It's time to start looking ahead and thinking about how we're gonna succeed in the play-ins, make it to the playoffs, and go even further. So in this final moment, this is where everything that we learn kind of comes together. So I'm really interested, I think, to have a conversation with me, Junk, and Harsha, and dive into that topic. But before that, I do wanna talk about some cool activities we did this week. Myself and the team all came down to see the new Belong Center opening up in Pearland. It was a really awesome experience. Got to see a bunch of fans, sign things. That's always pretty cool. But I think the location made it much more special than normal. To have like LAN cafes opening up in the United States, I think that's something that just didn't exist when I was a kid for PC gaming. Like, I mean, maybe it did, but I never heard of it. I never saw them. So the fact that they're coming now and being done in a way where they're gonna hopefully be opening up all across the United States with like a lot of momentum behind them, to me, that's something super exciting. I think gaming is now so much more mainstream. There's so many people who are really passionate about it. It's really special to have a physical place where the community can come together. Because no matter how great like the online experiences are, I think there's just something inherent to human nature. You need to come together, share your excitement about the activities, breed competition on a local level. So especially for the young kids who are just getting into it, it's really important, I think, that there be a physical place for them to gather, and that's what Belong is all about. So that's really exciting on like a deeper level, thinking about the future of esports. It's a really exciting thing to like have those physical spaces coming that are all about PC gaming. First off though, let's dive into the Mayhem match and just give you the high level impressions. If you missed the match, we were able to win. It was a relatively close match, I would say. First map was really strong from us, and then a rocky map 2 and 3, getting a loss and a draw there. But from there, we were able to pick up the series and finish it out 3-1 really strong. Definitely an interesting series. Mayhem played a comp that we didn't have too much practice against and we knew was gonna be difficult to take down, but our strategy was able to prevail in the end. We had the confidence, which is something we've been really focusing on as a team, is like having confidence in our strategy, sticking with it to the end. Obviously we catch some flack for that too, but I think as a team, you have to have that belief and that confidence, and going down maps, it can't shake that. If you're losing confidence, then you really have no hope to win the series. In the end, that was a pretty fun match, pretty exciting. Glad we were able to take the win. Crimzo and Piggy both played incredibly well. Crimzo got the player of the match, but I think a lot of us on the team thought it should be Piggy. I mean, he had a couple completely insane grabs, like 4 or 5-man grabs that just completely saved the game for us. Definitely props to Piggy for that as well. I think he deserves accolades there. Then we went up against the LA Gladiators, which was a really high stakes match for us, with tons of implications for playoff seeding, making it to Hawaii for the Countdown Cup. But unfortunately, we weren't able to get the win. We went down pretty hard. I think in the end, it was partly our strategy, partly our performance. But in the end, I think they were the better team, and we have to like kind of lick our wounds and get back to best practices, build back up for the play-ins and the playoffs. From my perspective, it was a really tough loss, but a lot of lessons learned, and hopefully we can go forward, take those lessons, build on them, and come back a lot stronger. But before we get into those deep topics, I want to remind you guys, stay tuned to the end of the show. We got some fun dad jokes coming up at the end. See if we can get Junk and Harsha to relax and laugh a little. That's always going to be a good time. Without further ado, let's just jump into Eyes on the Prize, presented by Zenny Gaming. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to Eyes on the Prize, presented by Zenny Gaming. If you like our Zennies, you can check them out on zenny.com/outlaws. Welcome, Harsha, Junk, welcome to the show, you guys.
All right.
Thank you for having us, Jake.
Again.
Yeah, the mood is a little rocky. Obviously, things didn't go too well in our last match. But what did you guys do in like the day after? Mentally resetting is so important, right?
Just watch random videos on YouTube all day.
What about you, Harsha?
I punished myself by cleaning my apartment.
Yeah, I punished myself by doing a really long run, but it was good. It's like the emotional catharsis I needed. Can now get back to work. Let's talk more about the matches. Let's get into it. So Harsha, let me start with you. What do you think was our key to victory on Thursday against the Mayhem?
Against the Mayhem, I felt like this stage we just had kind of a really like good mentality about how we practice and kind of our approach to the game. And I felt like against Mayhem, we were able to really like execute what we wanted. We had like a comp matchup that we liked. We played a style that we liked.
Not perfectly. It's not the
sure
matchup that we want completely.
Sure.
They still play the best comp they could have played against us, which was Hanzo. Hanzo was the best thing they could have played against us.
But we played pretty well, I think, in like a matchup that I guess we didn't actually have too much experience in, but we adapted
at
well
least
on the
we
fly.
had one experience with it, and then we did have we were doing well, and then we played against Hanzo, then we had a hard time, but then like we talked about how we're gonna overcome it, and so we didn't actually got to practice the adjustments that we decided doing. But then after the first map, we reminded ourselves what we're gonna do against it, and then ended up we started doing it better and better as the map went on.
Yeah, I did feel like I was able to I remember talking specifically in the match about, how we had to deal with the Hanzo and how we're gonna distribute our resources, and we made those adaptations over time. So that was definitely key, I think, or the reason we were able to kind of get stronger and stronger through the series was because of those changes in our style. What do you think the focus should be looking forward, Junk, as far as we took this loss, how do we build on that? How do we take those lessons and apply it?
Well, our preparation this stage was better because of what we learned previously, but then it just didn't show up in our match, right? So I think going forward, what we're focusing on learning now is how do we transfer what we didn't practice to the matches itself now.
That's very true. But so now that the regular season has come to an end, it's all about the play-ins, making it to the final playoffs. That's where our focus is as a team. So I guess the first thing to think about then in that sense is, what are you guys thinking about as far as potential matchups in the play-ins?
We won't have any choice in our opponent.
Yeah.
So I'm expecting whatever team people see as the toughest team is the team we're gonna end up playing in the play-ins.
In the end, we just have to beat everyone.
Exactly.
Yeah, I feel like it honestly doesn't matter too much. I'm not even thinking about these matchups because it's gonna be a new meta, so it's gonna be super dependent on different teams could be strong. Even a team that's low seeded in play-ins could just be the meta could be in their favor, and they could have a style that is really comfortable for them, and they could be beating other teams. So I think for me, yeah, I agree. It doesn't matter what our seeding is. It doesn't matter. I mean, I guess we play one last match, so we get to scout our opponent. That's the advantage. But yeah, there you have it, guys. That's Eyes on the Prize presented by Zenny Gaming. You can see we're all focused on the future, thinking about how we're gonna do play-ins and everything. All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Rapid Fire presented by HEB. Shout out to HEB for keeping us well fed. I've been personally cooking over the breaks, getting into making new recipes and stuff. So hit up the local HEB, get restocked, and yeah, it's been a good time. So thanks to HEB for making this all possible. But without further ado, let's just dive in to the tweets from you, the fans, and see what you had to say. So first off, we've got Grim OW on Twitter who says, 11-5 regular season is the best year we've ever had by far. Do we agree? Has this been the best regular season? I mean, it's kind of a freebie question, right? It's hell yeah, man. We're doing a lot better than we did before.
Mm-hmm. So one thing I felt about this season is even though this is the best season Outlaws has ever had, I think a lot of us don't feel satisfied with it, which is good. Yeah. I don't want us to end the season as just yeah, we were a winning team. I want us to go and actually win stuff after in this postseason. So I think it's the best season we've ever had, but we're still pushing for more.
Next up, we've got Lou the Writer. Took a cool selfie, decked out in gear, sending us their energy. So to ask you guys, engage with this, what's your favorite thing about the Outlaws fans? I think we have maybe one of the most passionate fan bases in the whole league. Yeah. Has that been a factor for you guys?
So one thing that stuck with me is we had the Outlaws homestand last year. You were actually at the casting there, but we that homestand, we went to a decent amount of homestands last year, and that homestand blew everything else out of the water. So it was really cool to see how much support Outlaws has and how much energy there was coming from the fans. And so Outlaws has always been an org that's known to have a really great fan base, and I think it's just very clear and everybody that shows up and just supports our team and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think it's we really have a good fans. I think the Outlaws fans are really great. And the meme is we can't make the adjustments, right? Yeah. Even that, I can understand from the
outside perspective.
Outside perspective, how other people see it.
It comes from a place of caring, of being invested, and wanting us to succeed and wanting us to do better than we have before. And even though we are doing better than we have before, that people still see the potential, they still see more. So next up, we've got AlvisGF16 on Twitter, who advises us to work on plans B and C in the matches as we focus on our strengths going into the play-ins. What's the key to us being adaptable in matches? So this is something we've talked about internally, because Well, maybe Junk, I'll get your perspective on this. 'Cause I know you have a take on like what it means to be adaptable.
So basically, from outside perspective, it probably doesn't seem like we're making adjustments because like
The heroes stay the
yeah,
same.
changing heroes seems like the most obvious adaptations, but oftentimes the adaptations, the how Overwatch works is the best way to make adaptations is by changing a lot of your play styles and adapting to what other enemy team is doing, rather than changing to heroes that you don't have practiced on or little practiced on, and so. So hopefully, I understand that the fans have a hard time. I guess frustrated with how we make adjustments and how we make adaptations. But even against the Mayhem match, as we talked earlier, we are making adjustments throughout the match about how different we were playing. Yeah. But it's also harder to actually win just by changing comps, because that has just less controlled variables. Like that can be like the easiest to fix, but also the riskiest fix because it's also not certain. So we're trying to make adaptations within the most controlled environment, and for us to just completely change out the comp is very, very, very risky. It changes. There's so much variable. The map itself changes how the mechanism works of each heroes, how one hero's interaction with another hero changes the whole comp synergy. So it's the changing comp. It just seems like the obvious, but it's actually the hardest adaptation. But I do appreciate all the concerns.
Yeah.
It's like you guys deserve to know why we make certain decisions.
And I mean, that's why we're here, right? That's why we're doing the show
so
and engaging with it.
Hopefully you guys can understand this. Hopefully it's not as frustrating to watch next time after you guys hear what our the reasoning behind what we do. Hopefully it makes sense. But yeah, we do appreciate the concerns. Yeah.
Raiden XL15 on Twitter asks, is Crimzo really tall or is everyone else really tiny? This is a great question. We noticed this when we were taking the photo at Belong. I think whenever we take team photos, I think like everyone on our team is like the same height, like except Crimzo. That's why it looks so weird.
There's not one more person.
Who?
There's the other extreme.
Who's our shirt player?
Juby?
I don't even notice who's short. Yeah, I mean, he's like 18, man. He's still growing. Like, he'll be fine.
So full line averages out to be the same height as everybody else. So,
but it's crazy how many players on our team are like literally the same height. Yeah. Like me, Dante, Happy, Piggy, Junggu.
No, we're all just short, and then Crimzo is just too tall. It's both.
Crimzo is actually really tall, but I think like we just have an incredible consistency of height across the team. Like it's actually shocking.
We're a very average team.
Yeah.
Thanks, Raiden, for that question. It's a good one. And thanks as well to HEB for keeping us well fed as always, and for bringing you Rapid Fire presented by HEB. So thanks so much to our sponsors, and thanks to the fans as well for engaging with us. If you want to get your thoughts, your questions into this segment next time, engage with us on Twitter, hit us up on the Outlaw Discord. You can get your thoughts, questions, ideas in there, and who knows, you might be on the next episode. All right, guys, thanks for sticking with us to the end. We got a couple more things to cover before we wrap up though. First off, looking forward, we've got our play-in matches coming up. But before that, we're gonna take a little break, mentally reset, and then get back into practice, start scrimming. Do you guys have any plans for how you're gonna spend the break and before we get back to practice?
Just be working out and chilling and mentally refreshing, I think.
Yeah.
I actually have zero plans for this break. It'll be a little bit shorter breaks than we usually do, because a lot of teams are already like starting to practice already. So we'll have a shorter break than before. But so I don't know what I'll do actually. Just
nothing much. Just get ready. Only thing that matters is Overwatch. Yeah. You can keep an eye on our Outlaws social media. We'll be talking about getting closer in on the plans when we have more information about exact seeding and exact bracket structure. You can find all that on our socials. So keep an eye out. Make sure you've got us followed on all your social media platforms. we'll be surely posting more about what we're doing and giving you that live input as we get closer to the matches. As well, members of the Deadlock tier, make sure to keep an eye on your mailboxes because your Mercy drop is coming soon if you're in that Deadlock tier. So keep your eyes peeled. It is coming in hot. We've got the good stuff for you Deadlock tier members. But before I let you guys go, I want to see if I could crack you up a little bit. If you guys didn't know, KSF took over our social for a little bit. He dropped some dad jokes. Obviously the people love dad jokes on the internet, so wanted to hit you guys with a couple dad jokes, see if I can get you. So Harsha, all right, you're up first. Are you ready?
All right, we'll
I'm
see.
hyping up too much. It's a dad joke. What am I?
I'll put my expectations low.
Harsha, what did the ocean say to the beach?
I'm not sure.
Nothing. It just waved. Okay, that's the perfect dad joke reaction. It's like, I hate you. All right, Junk, your dad joke is, why couldn't the bicycle stand up by itself?
Bicycle stand up by itself. I'm actually very weak at this. I don't know, no idea.
It was too tired.
Ha ha.
Okay.
Ha 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 ha.
All right, I'll take what I can get. At least they're good sports of our terrible dad jokes. But as always, you guys fans, thanks for tuning in to Let It Rip. Ante up, and peace and love, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.
Thank you guys.
All right. See ya.